बिट्टू, तुम अपना ये मेरे अंदर मेरे रूम में चार्ज करने रखोगे? क्योंकि if you try to take it out, then it will become an interruption for me. Huh? You will want it, na, to take it with you. But still charge it in my room. Charge it in my room. It's not yet fully charged. अभी तक ready button दिखा रहा था.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Amod. Good afternoon. It's not even 4 and they've started the drilling here. Huh? In our society, there is this thing, that you can start the drilling and all that noise after 4 o'clock. It's not even 4 and they've started the noise. So I'm expecting that this noise will be. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome Amod. Welcome Leena ma'am, Sushmit Kaur, Sahil, Amit, Inisha. Inisha was also one of the first few ones to join in with Amod today. So welcome Inisha. Samarth also quite regular. Srushti, Aditi, Natesh, Yangta. Yes, good afternoon. Good evening actually. And Mihir alias Ali Asgar, and Akansha, Sandeep, Ashwini, Gauri, Rushikesh, Sophia, Pranali, Mayuresh, Aryan, Tarush, Bhargavi, and let me see what are the other names. Lots of you have actually typed out Poonam, and then Simon and Sushmit, Pranali, I think I've already mentioned. Bhargavi, I think I've already mentioned. So Aniket also. Okay. And then on the second page, there's Triveni, Akshada, Archi, Nitin, Aman, Parvati, Prajwal, Vagmare, Manzi. Manzi, put your first name first. Okay. I can't call you Vagmare. Okay. I'm going to call you Manzi. Simon, Poonam, Arpita. Simon, we've already mentioned. Aishwarya, Vinay, Garima, Arya, Ishika, Chahat, Valerie, Shruti, Nitika, uh, Nikita. There are two Nikitas. Nikita Jambulkar, it must be. Yeah, Jambulkar and Nikita Ran. Aniket, Namrata, Mayuresh, Shreya, and more on the third page. Oh, how sweet. I like to welcome everyone, but then, okay. Now let's start the screen sharing and let me take you to today's topic, that is motivation, according to what you all wanted. So while I'm doing the screen sharing bit, tell me, what is it that motivates you? What is it that makes you kind of get out of your comfort zone? I'm not going to ask you what the meaning and the definition of motivation is. That I'm sure you already know. And I'm going to just tell you about it as soon as we start. So tell me, what is it that makes you tick? What is it that keeps you going? What is it that makes you want to get up in the morning or come in this afternoon to this class? What is it that made you, compelled you to, you know, join Wadia College? And what is it that you're looking forward to in life? So start typing and start speaking. Goals to be achieved. You, so sweet. Mihir, so sweet. He's saying you, the result, our goals and dreams. Wow, beautiful. I like that, Arpita. And my parents, the parents are really a strong motivator. So when we are going to do personality, you will really enjoy it, huh? Samarth, I'm telling you. So these are some of the answers that I've got. Okay, how many of you have joined your elder sister? How sweet, Natish. How sweet. I would love to meet her and give her my loves. So what else is it that really motivates you to do, to wake up in the morning and to be there for the world? So how many of you have joined BBA because you all want to earn money? Finance is the reason. Your grandmother, how sweet, Bhargavi. Anyone is interested in and motivated to earn money, lots of money, be financially not only independent but also financially free. So anyone, I'm at this present moment, I'm financially independent. Okay. I'm also still not financially free. I'm in that process. And imagine I'm so old and I'm still in that process. So you can obviously tell me. And until quite a few years ago, I was not that independent also. Okay. I was dependent on other relationships and situations to be financially independent. So I was not independent. I was dependent. Okay. So anyone interested in money? Dollars? No? Oh my God. Then let's just stop. Defensive posture. I can't move forward. You joined your BBA. Come on, Shekhar is the only one who has the courage to say that he's interested in money. If you're not interested in money, then don't join the BBA course. Go and do arts. Okay? Go and do music. Don't do business management, because business means one of the most interesting thing about business is the money aspect. Okay? The dollars. And not just rupees, because rupees, trust me, it's not that strong. Of course, our um, 1 minute, my internet connection is unstable. Can you hear me, all of you? Cryptocurrency. Oh my God. I don't know what is all that. Huh? My son has also spoken about it, but I don't understand this Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I just don't understand it. Okay, that just doesn't match me. So can you hear me? Can somebody just say that yes, I can hear you, ma'am? Because in between I got this thing that my connection was not.
You're correctly audible. Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
That puts me a little at ease. Okay, so if there's any problem in hearing me or something, just feel free enough to tell me that. So I am, before we start, and as we start, I'm going to show you this film again from Secret, and it's kind of a prequel or a sequel to the first day film that I showed you, which was on, so when you kind of wake up in the morning, tell yourself, I am a money magnet. Okay, and whatever I touch turns to gold. Whichever part of the world I may be, when I think of money, it just falls over me. Everything I touch turns to gold. I have that King Midas touch. When I touch people, you know, when I smile at people, they turn into gold. I have more riches than King Solomon's mines. Money falls like an avalanche over me. There is more money being printed for me in Nasik right now. In Hyderabad, they make the coins. I'm receiving money, making new ideas every day, coming up with creativity. I'm receiving unexpected checks in the mail. Lots of money is flowing. And on nowadays on Google and all that. I have more than enough money for everything and anything I want. Whether it is jewelry or car or it's my dream home and a beautiful experience. I have the best of everything. And I'm grateful and I celebrate, laugh and play every day of my life. I know when I ask for whatever it is I want, I have that Aladdin's lamp. No matter what it is that I want, when I sharpen my skills, out comes the genie. No matter how impossible it may seem. If I believe in myself, the process of secret, okay, the answer of the universe would be your wish is my command. And that again is from The Secret, my friends. Did you like this particular film? You can find it at in the internet, also in the YouTube, and put it forward. Okay, it's cute, na? If you keep seeing this on a daily basis for at least 7 to 21 days, or maybe even 3 months every day, keep saying it, you'll be so surprised. From you'll be offered um assignments, work, suddenly your relatives, your dad, mom, your grandparents, and this one that one will come and offer you trinkets and money, and a lot of money will start coming, trust me. Okay, I taught all this, and I made my son see this the moment I got through, and I used to make, he used to attract a lot of money. Every birthday of his, oh my god, he was making more than what I made in my marriage also. So of course, the whatever that we made in the marriage, parents didn't give it to me. Okay, when it came to my sister's wedding, they gave her a lot. Okay, but with me, they said you on your own. We're keeping it. One daughter, we had to give it to her because she was not earning, but you're earning your own, so we are not giving it to you. You just go look after. So money can be a motivator for students at your age. When you're younger, when you're depending on other people to take care of you, money can be a motivator. Though in India, I must say, and I'm going to be talking about India generally, that in India, parents always tell their children, there's no need to earn money right now, focus on your studies, focus on your growth, focus on, and then once you've got a job, then slight money might flow in, and then finally, then look at how you can build relationships, get married, have children, etc., etc. Okay, so now let us see what is it that motivates people, and there are some theories. So before we begin talking about the theories of motivation, let us look at what is motivation. And as I said that I'm not going to ask you, I'll just tell you what it is. Okay, so just give me a minute. Yeah. So we'll continue. And I'm very sorry about this interruption. And thank you for tolerating it. I just can't help it because I'm living in a building, in a society where we have to go ahead. So this is what happens. You have to have the courage to sometimes stand up and be motivated enough to tell them to stop doing what they're doing and then, get on with your work in a proper way. So the first line over there, which is defining motivation, that is the result of the interaction between the individual and the situation. I actually didn't like it. Okay, so I put it in that skin color so that it is invisible to you all. So shall I put it in black so that you can't see it? Anyway, the now the second part, which is there in yellow, the processes that account for an individual's intensity. Okay, how much hungry are you? How much are you willing to put effort, how much effort are you willing to put in to get what you want, depends on how hungry you are for the situation, how needy you are. So if it's a job, it's a relationship, it's a vacation, it's a car, it's whatever it is that you really want, how strong is your motivation is the first thing, that is the intensity. Second is, are you in the right direction? Okay. And how are you working with the organization's goals? Is this what your family also wants for you? Is this what you truly want, and are you convinced about it? Okay, so that will also channel your effort. If you're not in the right direction, you will just hold yourself back. Okay, so intensity is first, second is the direction, and the third is how much do you really want it, and how long are you willing to work for it. Okay, there are times when I have seen people who have worked for 20-25 years. During those days when there was no such thing as an EMI and all that, people would want to build a house but they won't have the money, and every year the inflation would take place, however much the person would save, and just when they would reach an amount where they can just buy the land and start building the house, and that's when some calamity would happen. Either the land would go for a toss, or the money will have to be spent on somebody's medical health, or something or the other would happen. Okay, so this kind of a motivation, that how long are you willing to wait, how long are you willing to persist. Okay, so that persistence is the third factor that drives you, and it kind of tells you that how motivated you are. Okay, so these are the three elements. Okay, each one of you, are you aware, are you with me now? Okay, intensity, direction, and persistence. Intensity is the amount of effort that you are willing to put in, depending on how needy you are and how much you need to reach that goal or fulfill that dream of yours. Okay, are you willing to give up? If the intensity is not there, maybe if there's too much of hard work, you'll say, no, 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 I'm not interested. I've seen people who have appeared for their pre-medical test for 3 years, 4 years. Okay, till the parents and everyone kept saying, forget about it, I don't think you're going to get in, maybe it's not in your destiny. And this person was, look, I'm going to create my own destiny and I'm going to get in. And I have seen people working very hard for so many years, and they were very senior in age, and then they even became my juniors, and they later on joined psychology, didn't get into medicine. And yet I have seen of people who have actually appeared for IAS exams, 5 years, 6 years, and they have got into it. Okay, so the intensity, then the direction as to which place you want to go to, and the persistence. Okay, so are you with me? So this is how it is. And then now let's come to the meaning of motivation. The word motivation comes from the word movere, which means to move. So anytime you're feeling dull, lifeless, remember I told you in my first session and also in the second, and yesterday I didn't talk about it in motions, but I did, I think, is that if you're feeling low, if you're feeling like, in a negative mood, where you are like, oh no, life is not good enough and all that, you just wake up, change your position, just get up, music or no music, you do a little spot jumping. Okay, a little jumping, otherwise you just do a little, shoulder shrugs, a little movement of your neck, and give yourself a little massage on the head, this side, take away all that resistance, that that tiredness in your system, and just move your shoulders, move your arms, jump up a little, and you will start feeling motivated. You feel that surge of energy, and you will want to move forward. So motivation comes from the word to move. Okay, so anytime you're feeling dull, just move. And watch out, ask yourself, am I doing it for myself, this particular goal? Is this what I want? Are you internally motivated, or are you motivated because you're going to get punished? Are you enjoying giving this exam? Are you actually enjoying this lecture, or you're just worried about the attendance, the marks and all that, because it's an add-on subject and because your parents have spent so many thousands or lakhs of rupees for your education, so you want to, kind of live up to it. Okay, so what is it that you really want? Is it a physiological need? Is it like hunger, actual hunger, where even if you eat a sumptuous meal one day and you do not have dinner for that day, but the next day in the morning you are again hungry? Okay, so what is it that you really want to do? What is it? Is it a physiological need? Do you really need to, become kind of, disease free? That's why you're working it, or is it a mental need? Okay, is it a psychological need? Is it a deficiency at the physical level, environmental level, or the psychological level that drives you towards your goal? Okay, so what if you are not able to reach your goal? Then you start looking at alternatives. If I cannot get this job, can I get this job? If I cannot work in Pune in the IT sector, can I then, look at, say, manufacturing sector? Can I look at, the hospitality business? So it is also the nature and the intensity, and also how fast you want it, how urgent is, how much is your hunger. Are you willing to wait for it, or you want it now? So if you want something now, if you want it yesterday, then you are willing to, compromise. Maybe you're willing to do anything. You're willing to suck up to people. You're willing to love anyone around you, okay, to satisfy that deficiency that you're feeling, that inner knowing, that inner hunger. Okay, so your efforts will continue, the persistence will happen, as long as that need of yours is either satisfied, or you have realized that it is not going to work out for me, so let me get over it and get out of it. Okay, so the types of motivation are two. Okay, the first one, which is something that really drives an individual forward, is the inner motivation. It's also called the intrinsic motivation, the needs, the interests. Okay, if you're really interested in singing, if you're really interested in dancing, you will look for opportunities. Okay, but you have to do management, so you will look for opportunities of now working for people who are in this field. Okay, and then you will develop also, depending on your attitude towards life. Okay, so your needs are very important. See, there are certain needs that have to be met. Okay, they are physiological in nature, they are mental in nature. Remember I talked about strokes? Do you remember I talked about strokes in the second lecture, day before yesterday, when I said that people need to be stroked? So you not only need physical strokes, you need mental strokes. You need to keep yourself active. And if you do not touch your child, if you do not, look after a person, after some time they start deteriorating. Unless they stroke themselves, unless they massage their own egos, unless they massage their own mind, unless they keep themselves active. Okay, and small children don't know how to do that. Okay, so that's how research has proved that massaging a child physically, and talking to the child, doing all day, these are certain basic needs that people have. So then there are these outside factors also. Sometimes I don't want something, but I do it because otherwise I'll get punished. So it's like, following a discipline of traffic. I do it because I know that, the Indian, traffic police can put me into trouble. Okay, or you're looking for rewards. So yesterday, I must tell you that, yesterday or day before yesterday, a friend of mine, she at the age of 56, she's become, or what age is she? I don't even know. I mean, she's definitely 50 plus, but she looks way younger. This woman has got the Mrs. India, title of some sort in Pune. And I was like, oh my God, she's actually gone through so much of an effort to get that. So there are some people who do it for a title. There are some people who do it for, um, for some trophy. There are some people who do it because they love to be praised. And there are some people who just, are motivated because they feel a sense of competition. They have to prove it to their parents. They have to prove it to the elder brother who's been doing so well. So I am also good enough, elder brother. So I'm going to work very hard. So I'm motivated because I want to prove it to the elder brother that I can do better than him or her. It's a brother, so it's a her, him only. Okay. So these are the kind of motivations that are there. And there are some kinds of, theories. So we'll be talking about Sigmund Freud when I talk about personality, and he's really my favorite. And according to Sigmund Freud's theory, which we're not going to talk about today, he said that we are basically, humans are instinctually guided. Okay. There is what is called a pleasure principle, or a pleasurable erroneous zone within our system, and that drives us. Okay. It's like an itch. It's a pleasure seeking thing. Okay. I really need a chocolate right now. Okay. So I need a chocolate right now. So Divyansh, can you get me a chocolate right now? Oh no, I don't want a chocolate right now. But if there's a need to have some chocolate right now, so it depends upon my intensity. And if I am functioning from the id, that is a child ego state, I will demand, I will pause it, and I will go and get my chocolate from the kitchen or from the kirana wala, satisfy my need, and then come back for the class. Okay. But if my need to be with you all is stronger and greater, then obviously I'll not be thinking of the chocolate right now. Okay. Now, how many of you would actually want to have a chocolate now? I'm sorry, I kind of instigated that thing in you all, but I'm sure that some of you don't like chocolates. So, how many of you don't like chocolates? Come on, quickly tell me. Now, anyone types me will be, I don't like chocolate. Huh? No one. Amit says no one. So sweet. So I know of a couple of people in my life. Bhargavi doesn't like chocolate. Okay. So I know of certain people in my life who just don't like chocolate. So whenever I have to make a dessert, I just don't like them coming over. Don't come, because I love chocolate desserts, and chocolate in any form is like, welcome, with a bit of hint of coffee in it, with that, little twang. Oh, wow. It's amazing. Okay. So this is what Sigmund Freud said. And Abraham Maslow, with his, you know, theory of the hierarchy of needs, is one of the most oldest, and we're going to be talking about him in personality development, also in the behaviorist psychology. And we're going to be talking first about him, what he said. And he said that unless and until our basic physiological needs are not met, we cannot go to the other. And unless our safety needs are not met, we cannot go to the love and belongingness and relationship needs. Unless these are not met, we cannot go to, the esteem needs. And unless those are not met, we're not going to look at self actualization. And towards the end of his career, he started talking about the cognitive need, the need to be intellectually stimulated. And then he said those people who are intellectually very stimulated, they have a very strong, intelligent people, have a very strong need to be aesthetically motivated. That means they want things to be in order, they want things to look beautiful also. So not only do you want to marry an intelligent husband, you also want him to be handsome. Okay. Not only do you want to marry an intelligent girl, but you also want her to be gorgeous. Okay. So that's the reason why I feel one of the luckiest people on this earth are Abhishek Bachchan or the entire Bachchan family, because they've got my favorite Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, or even Nick Jonas. Okay, he's also married to such a beautiful, and then of course Shushmita Sen and Lara Datta and the whole works. They are also beautiful, and they are also intelligent also. So with that, we come to also a little bit about a background drop, and we're going to discuss in detail is the Herzberg's two-factor theory. Okay, so here I'm going to just skip it, and I'm going to just come to the fact. I'm going to come to the fact that there are certain theories like the Maslow's theory, Alderfer's existence relatedness and growth theory, ERG theory, McGregor's theory, Exon theory by Suresh sir's favorite, Herzberg's two-factor theory, and Mcclellan's theory of needs. Dr. Nisha Dhawan's favorite, because she did her PhD in that, and she really wrote many papers on Mcclellan's theory of needs. And we're going to be discussing these. These are the old, outdated, you know, redundant theories. But I must say one thing, that even till this date, there are certain HR managers and there are certain other managers who are practicing this theory. Some of them are practicing it without even knowing that they're doing it. Okay. So now let's quickly go to the first and one of the most, you know, 1900, not Pachpan, even before that type of, this guy, like, you know, Abraham Maslow, amazing human being. And he said this, okay? He said that unless and until, I'm going to repeat myself, unless and until your physiological need for food, okay, and for, in this case, he's also put it as salary, okay? So salary, he says, is very important. There are very few people, unless and until they are not, people from very comfortable backgrounds, financially comfortable backgrounds, they are willing to go and work in NGOs where they don't get a salary. Okay, they're very comfortable because their basic meals are met, they have a house to live in, they have all that. Okay, so they will go and they will work for free. They will be running NGOs and they'll be working in Rotary and, the Linus and the other such organizations, the Red Cross, the Blue Cross. Blue Cross is for animals, Cross is for humans, and such organizations, and they'll go out of the way to teach for free. Do stuff where money is not important. Okay, and they will not be looking for motivation. And yet I must tell you that even there are some people in the villages and small towns and in some schools where girls actually join NCC, because twice a week after they have finished the parade, they'll get some biscuits, bananas, or they will get some cake to eat. Can you beat it? So that is a physiological need. So unless and until your physiological need is not met, according to him, you cannot go to the next need. So once you have, the basic, the roti, kapda, and makan, and in some of the stuff they also talk about, uh, uh, you know, the ability to be able to have bath, the ability to be able to kind of, stimulate yourself physically also. So unless and until that physiological need is not met of food and drink and all that, and you cannot think about a house. Okay, so there are many people in this country and all over the world, poverty is, there, and they live off the streets. There used to be too many of these people happening in Mumbai at one time, but nowadays it's reducing. Okay, people are getting that safety, and government is working very hard. So once a person's physiological needs are met, then only that person starts thinking, now I need a home. Okay, I should have a home of my own. I should have, I should not be in a rented apartment where I can be kicked out. I should have a home where I can put my name on the door. Okay, so that is that. And then they also work towards a pension. Only when they have a home of their own, there are some people who say, now I can think about marriage. Now I can start making friendship in, the workplace. So they go into the social needs. They start looking for love, affection. In case you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, okay, you got plenty of money, but your parents are very busy. So then what happens is that those children crave for love from their friends. They crave for love from the parents. Okay. And once that is taken care of also, then the person starts now thinking, I need to prove myself. I need to have some status. I need to be, having a title in my job. I need some growth in my job. And once that happens, then the person goes to the next level. And as I said earlier, he talked about only these 5 levels That is, the last was self actualization. Okay, where he wanted to work, he or she wanted to work for self development, for the ultimate gyan, for that right at the top of the head, for that Satchit Anand, for that mm, that I have it all types. Now I don't need to work. Now I can do seva for the others.
Ritu, chalo,
Now
bye.
it's all an illusion. This is all a myth. Okay, this is what people usually kind of um, go through. Okay, from time to time, and yet, as I told you a little while ago, that the category changed also a little bit. But before I go ahead, I'll just tell you, he also said that the basic needs are the physiological and the safety needs. Okay, in the physiological needs over here, can you see very beautifully, they've also said that warmth, that is the body feeling comfortable. So warmth and rest, enough sleep is also required. If someone has not slept for 3 days, or if someone is feeling very cold, and you tell them that you have to stand in the cold, and then after 10 days I'll give you a PhD, that person will say, forget about the damn PhD, I won't be alive, yeah. So I'm not going to be able to. And you tell the person that I'm keep your eyes open and you're not allowed to blink for 3 hours, and I'll give you 10,000 rupees. The person will say, keep your 10,000 rupees, I need to blink. Okay, because if I lose my eye, then life is just meaningless. So what do I do with your 10,000 rupees? So depending on their basic needs. Okay, so once that is met, only then a person starts looking at the psychological needs, the mental needs. Okay, love, relationships, friendship, and then the prestige factor and feeling accomplished and all that. And once that is also met, and a person is now satisfied, I've got it all. Okay, I got a beautiful house, I've got cars, I've got jewelry, I've got money, I've got a loving spouse, I've got loving parents, I've got loving children, I've got grandchildren, I've got friendship. Then the person is also realizes that, oh my god, I've got degrees also. Not only do I have I've been the managing director of this company, and I've been the chairman of this company, and I'm running so much, and society knows me so well. I'm a professor, I teach at the MBA level, I teach at I even take care of the PhD students. And finally they say that now that I've achieved it all, I want to just do seva for the society. Now what can I do? Okay, so yesterday we talked about the fact that a person who has become self aware, okay, knows about their strengths, weaknesses, about what is happening in their system, they start managing themselves, and then after they manage it themselves, they motivate themselves. And today we're talking about that motivation. Okay, so when you want to be emotionally intelligent, you've got to motivate yourself towards this thing. And what is it that you need? So this is Maslow's need hierarchy theory. And after a person is fully motivated, they reach that self actualization position. And according to Abraham Maslow, it was only initially only 2%, according to him, 2% of the world population who had reached that you know so out of 100 people in your life that you see, only 2 people have actually felt, that I've done it. I've got it all. Okay. So rest of the people are looking for more self-fulfilling fulfillment and self-actualization needs. Okay. Okay. As we went along, as I said, that he realized that it's not just the esteem needs and then directly going to self-actualization. He realized people need to be, they want that intellectual, you know they want some intellectual stimulation. They want, now that someone loves them, and they've already got the position, they're already the head of the department, or they're already the vice president of their vertical, or they've already become the vice chancellor of the university, they become the prime minister of the country, and there's nothing beyond that. They don't want anything. Even there, they want someone ultimately to keep on you know making them exercise their brain. So how many of you, and I would love to see you all in chat, how many of you till today play games on the video that makes you think? How many of you do puzzles and jigsaw puzzles, Sudoku, crossword puzzles, and something that strategic games where your mind is a little more active. So Anu does it, Simon does it, Inisha does it, Aryan does it. So you guys, Shreya does it, Amit does it, Nisha also. And I tell you, I'm still at it. Okay. I still keep doing Sudoku. I still, kind of look at ways where I can improve my knowledge. And I'm not good with crossword puzzles, but I know of people who are. And I still like to play Scrabble. I like to play chess. Yes. Chess is another game that makes you think strategy. Okay. Monopoly also. And then I keep making these Lego toys. I would, as soon as Divyansh, passes around, I'll ask him to bring the three boxes. Just recently, on the 14th of December was my cousin's daughter's birthday, and I take gifts for even her son who's like 10 years old, and for Dhruv's cousin. I must have spoken about it here. I went and brought some puzzles for myself also. Okay. And of course, when Bhaiya was giving it to me, I mean, I know the family where I buy this thing from, and I get a good 20% discount. So those of you who need all that on toys, come to me. I'll tell you. Okay, you can just mention my name. At least you'll get 10% discount. So he was like, "Why are you spending so much money? What do you need this for?" I said, "I need it for Divyan. She's grown up for all these Lego toys." I said, "No one grows up for Lego toys." Okay, so that cognitive needs are there, and when even that is taken care of, you want to make everything come into place. Okay, so the aesthetic needs, everything should look pretty. My slides should look prettier. My the way I present my thoughts should look even prettier. Can you see there's a little rainbow thing over here? Okay, I've not done it, I've picked it up from the internet, but I love rainbows. Okay. And last but not the least is the self actualization. And if you notice that in this diagram here, there is this beautiful, that pyramid, the top of the pyramid has got all the colors from red to, orange to blue to green to light blue to indigo, and also the violet color. And beyond that is the halo of transcendence. Transcendence. How do you pronounce this? Transcendence. Someone help me, yeah. I'm not good with this. Transcendence, whatever it is. Okay. So you transcend, and you go beyond even your subconscious to super consciousness, where you are just in complete bliss. Okay. So that is what he talked about, and he took it to that particular level. Okay. So this is all kind of that I've just been talking about. Okay. Nowadays, like towards the end of his life, Maslow also suggested that earlier it was only 2% of the world population. Now it's actually more than 4%. So I just feel that, and then he also talked about the fourth force in psychology, and he took all that from the Eastern psychology, that is from Buddhism, from the Indian philosophy, from uh, we've got so much happening in our country, so many books are there, and if you actually get into the depths of it, it's like really deep. Okay. So he started talking about the meditation and parapsychological phenomena of intuition, and people start getting into um, all this spiritual stuff and occult stuff. Okay. Where they want to be able to uh, control certain aspects of life which are actually not in anyone's control, that is birth and death. Okay. And they want to go beyond that also. So now let's come to the second theory. So are you all enjoying it so far? So good? Having fun? Hmm? Some response. Awesome. Good. Yes, ma'am. Yay. Good, good, good. Pranali, I like it. Okay, Amod, definitely. Okay, awesome and enjoying it also. Good, 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 good. Okay, so next is this. This is seriously, I love this comparison between these two theories. When I first went through this theory of Abraham Maslow, my mind was thinking, okay, not good enough. Okay, not everyone is interested in waiting for transcendence. Okay, there are some people who just feel like, this is it. They've already got everything in the past. Okay, lives maybe, or I don't know, they're just satisfied souls and they're only looking for cognitive needs. Maybe they're looking only for aesthetic needs, and maybe they're also only looking for self actualization needs. They're going directly there. Okay, so Clayton Aldifer said that basically there are three core needs, that is existence, that is the physiological needs. Okay, compare it with the previous theory. Relatedness, that is the love and esteem needs. Okay, and growth, which is self actualization. Okay, a bit of that esteem needs and then the cognitive needs, aesthetic needs were initially not there when Clayton Aldifer came up with his theory. Okay, so according to him, he said that more than one need can be operative. A person would be looking for the title, but that doesn't mean that the person doesn't want a secure house. That doesn't mean that the person does not want to have friendship and relationship with people. Just because now that person is working for his PhD or her PhD program, or is fighting for a minister's job, or is wanting to become the head of the department, or wants to be the vice president or general manager, or even the having a CXO role in their organization, it does not mean that the person is done with the wife, the person is done with eating also. No, it doesn't work like that. So a person may still be hungry and may also want self actualization. Okay, a person may not get into fast and still want all that. Okay, so more than one need can be happening at the same time. And then he also said that second factor, he said that sometimes people are willing to let go of the family relationship. People are willing to sacrifice their marriage and their love for their children and parents just because they want to go ahead in their career. This happens so often, and vice versa. Okay, so some people are willing to do fasts. I know of an entire community who keeps a fast from new moon to the next new moon, one full month. They don't have water during the day. Do I have to tell you that we all just bow down to this community and we say, OMG, you guys are so strong? There are times when the entire Ramzan Mahina happens in summer. It's it's a time when you are just desperate for water, and the very very staunch people, they don't even swallow their own spit. They can't even put the thumb and the finger and create spit in their mouth and take that in. They don't even do that. They just stick to it, and from sunrise to sundown they observe austerity so that they can get Jannat, that is heaven. Okay, so lower needs can be sacrificed to gratify the higher needs. Okay, even Gautam Buddha, okay, Siddharth left his family, he left all the wealth, he sacrificed everything, gave away everything only to pursue self actualization. And he fasted for a couple of months, and then he became physically weak and he realized that fasting is not helping. Penance and torture to the body doesn't help. Okay, there are other methods, and he got into that enlightenment and started sharing. So lower needs can be sacrificed to gratify the higher ones, and sometimes the opposite happens. When a person reaches a position that he is supposed to be a general manager or the VP of the company, and he's absolutely fit enough to be the CEO or the MO, that is the chief marketing officer, or the chief financial officer, CFO, or the chief operating officer, that is COO. and this person does not get that position, someone from outside is called and put in, and this person is told that, can you just, put in your papers and leave? So what does this person do? This person could probably just dip from that top, from their esteem needs. His gratification is not happening, and he may just say, these are grapes are sour, I didn't even want this job, and may just dump down and start, coming back home and indulging in too many chocolates, and in order to get out of his mental depression or the physical depression that that person is feeling. Okay, so sometimes even that can happen. Okay, are you getting it? So this is what Clayton Alderfer said, and this is what his theory is. Now I'm coming to the third theory. So did you enjoy these two theories, guys? Can I get a response now? Did you enjoy these two theories? Have you understood these two theories? Okay. Did you get the feeling, that how motivation can work for people, how different people work in a different way, and one theory, which was the traditional need hierarchy theory, can be compared to ERG theory of existence, relatedness, and growth. And then it can be said that no, not necessarily. What Abraham Maslow said is also right, but this can also happen. Okay, so now we're coming to the third old theory, okay, traditional theory, which is very beautiful. And here I guarantee you that you're going to learn a new word, that is, hygiene factors. And when we talk about hygiene factors, we don't talk about the literal, toilet, or the cleanliness, or the self, body odor, or the mouth odor kind of hygiene factors. No, we're talking about, the certain things in life do not motivate us. They just do not, make us tick. Okay, and yet there are certain things in life that they don't even, the absence of it also doesn't demotivate us. Nothing happens to us. Okay, so all those factors in life we take for granted. Okay, like for example, brushing our teeth and having a clean bathroom, and having a nice, place to work. All this is good to have around, but if it's not there, it's not going to kill me. Okay, are you getting it? Having an AC office and everything, these can be motivators for certain people who've not had it initially. But once you have enough, then there are certain aspects of life that do not demotivate you at all. So the traditional view is that either a person is very satisfied in his or her job, or is completely dissatisfied. Okay, but Herzberg, Friedrich Herzberg, said that there are certain, aspects of life that, there is a lot of satisfaction, or there is no satisfaction, but not necessarily dissatisfaction. And then there are certain hygiene factors in life, and I'm going to be showing it to you in the next slide what those are. That the presence of it does not mean that you are satisfied, and the absence of it could lead to some amount of dissatisfaction, and the presence of it could just mean that there is no dissatisfaction. Are you getting it? I've been pretty fluent. There's been no slip of tongue as far as I'm concerned, and in explaining it. So now look at this slide very carefully, and look at, start from the bottom. That percentage frequency that's written over there. So you'll find that on the right side, whatever is there mentioned, okay, those bars, this just shows on the right side of your screen when you're looking at it, that these are the aspects in life that actually give you job satisfaction. These are the motivators. Okay, but on the left side, these are not necessarily, that having them, it does not mean that, you are motivated. Okay, these are the hygiene factors. So let us look at the hygiene factors. Security. Okay, security in a job. There was a time when you got a job, and if you're not secure in the job, oh my god, people were disturbed. Those were the tough times. But nowadays, people are not looking for job security. So that's a hygiene factor. Okay. Very few people are looking for job security. There's a little bit. Then the status factor that, oh, I'm working in an IT company. Now nobody cares if you're working in an IT company. Nobody cares if you're a doctor. Nobody cares if you're an engineer. Nobody cares if you have done your MBA or BBA or not. Okay. So the status factor actually doesn't matter to many people. It is just some other factors that work. Okay. Then relationship with your subordinates, your personal life. Okay. How you're doing. Okay. Your vacations, whether you're going for vacations abroad or you're going for vacations in just Lonavala or Khandala around the corner. Or maybe, coming to Kalyani Nagar for a vacation. For many people living in some of the pets in Pune, for them coming and staying in a flat in Kalyani Nagar or in a service apartment in Kalyani Nagar, it should itself would be considered to be a vacation. Okay, so that doesn't matter to people. If they're getting vacations or not, it doesn't matter. Okay, if the working conditions are very good, if the toilets actually the actual toilets are very good, okay, it doesn't matter. Do you notice it? Even salary, the money is also a hygiene factor. Though I must say that there are many people who are motivated by salary, and it's at one, two, three, four, five, sixth position. Okay, so people at at the beginning of their career, they're bothered about how much package they're getting. Later on, the package doesn't matter. Later on, the EMIs don't matter. Okay. Later on, money does not matter. The salary does not matter. The security doesn't matter. The working conditions don't matter. What the supervisor, the immediate boss is doing doesn't matter. But to some people, I must say that's why the bar is a little more also on the right side where relationship with supervisors are concerned. A lot of research has proved that many people leave organizations like Tata, IBM, and GE or any such organizations just because they're not happy working with the immediate supervisor. Okay, the immediate boss, they're not happy with that person. Okay, then the supervision again and company policies, nobody cares about the company policies. Can you see that? There is growth. Will I get growth in my organization? How is the work itself? Will I feel a sense of achievement that I'm working here? Okay, that is the biggest motivation. The recognition they get from the family and from the people around is extremely important for some people. The actual work responsibility, when I talked about with more power comes more responsibility, Spider-Man, the fact is that the more responsibility you give to a manager, there are so many people, they will not leave the company. But if you reduce their work, the work itself, if you reduce their work, they'll get so bored. This happened with me at a personal level, and it has happened with many people in the IT and in the BPO and even in the KPO sectors, especially the KPO sectors and the IT sector. This happens a lot. There are certain projects that are very interesting, very fun, and very challenging. They come. Okay. Now these people are getting solid salaries, but then there are other projects coming to this company which do not require the competency of this guy or girl. Okay, so what happens is that once one project gets over, so these people are put on bench. Now you wait. Once we get another big project, then we will put you to work. In the meantime, have fun. Okay, you come to the organization, you work from home, go for a vacation, we'll give you the salary, but no work to do. Okay, so what happens is that after 1 or 2 weeks of that intensive, kind of rest, people like me or people like many others I know of, there was a client who came. I can't mention the name now. It's all a little bit of a secret, but so I can't mention. So this particular gentleman also, and I know of two more. One was a Sardar also, who was ultimately just changed his job. He went to an organization where he picked up a position which was a little lower than the team leader's position so that he could just work in any project. And the moment they would try to give him the advancement, which is mentioned over here, that people work for advancement, they are motivated for advancement. This guy was not. He was more interested in the work, in the responsibility that was given to him. So if he was made as the deputy team leader, he was very happy. Okay, make him the general manager and just tell him to look after the functions and not get into coding, not interested. Okay, so are you getting it, guys? Can you just unmute yourself and tell me, have you understood this particular theory? And from next
Yes,
time
ma'am.
onwards,
Yes, ma'am.
it's very good, very
Yes,
good,
ma'am.
very good. I'm so glad. I really
Yes, ma'am.
clap you all and kind of appreciate you all. A couple of more theories and I'll give you a short break. Okay. So the next theory, which is Professor Suresh Vishwanath's favorite, and he believed in the theory X. Okay. So theory X basically presumes that people are lazy, horrible. Managers don't like to work. Workers are absolutely, they don't like responsibility. Absolutely opposite from the previous theory also. And they must be punished. You have to put the fear of God. If not the fear of God, you got to put the fear of the boss. You got to put the fear of the devil to make them work. Okay, that is theory X. And theory Y presumes that people are generally very nice people. They are very, motivated to work. They want to get up in the morning, even at 7 o'clock and or 6 o'clock in the morning, and come for lectures of Romita ma'am. Unlike this morning batch, okay, the other morning batch, they don't feel like coming. Okay, so theory Y presumes that people seek responsibility. They are like that movie I showed you in the second lecture, like that fellow who's that basketball player. Sorry, I keep forgetting his name. I'm getting a few hiccups. Just give me a sec. Okay, so these people, the theory by, are the people who say yes. Okay, so one way to remember what is theory Y is not the question mark Y, WHY, no, but the Y stands for yes, and theory X stands for no. You give them any work, the first thing they'll say, no, I can't come because I have to go for a shadi. I have some problem. I have my monthly periods. Yeah, even men get their periods. Okay, that's what my husband told me once. I was like, asking him, why is this driver Umesh, misbehaving? He said he must be getting his monthly chums. I said, what? He said, what? What do you think that even men don't have their own moods? They don't have premenstrual, problems? Yes, Aniket. Thank you. Thank you for the smileys. Okay. Yeah, mood swings. Okay. They don't have hormones playing up. Okay, they're just always like happy to be ready and prepared to take on life. Not true. Okay, so yes, true, Pranali, laugh out loudly that people so uh, saying no for things. No, 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 I'm going to get my chums, I can't come, I can't work, sorry, it's going to be trouble, my stomach cramps and all that. So excuses and excuses and excuses. Why should girls have all the fun? Correct. Okay, I like that part. Okay, so theory X means saying no, no to responsibility, no to being a leader, no to doing work, no to all that. Okay, and theory Y is yes, doesn't matter if I have, then there are those something with the wings and all that. I'm going to put on the wings here also and everywhere else, and I'm going to continue working. Okay, I'm going to just do some pranayam, I'm going to do some yoga, and I'm going to be fine. Okay, and I've got all the energy in the world. Okay, so are you getting this? This is a very beautiful theory. And the last, before I give you a little break of the old theories, is Mcclellan's motivational needs. Okay, the need for power, the need for affiliation, and the need for achievement. Okay, so one of the ex head of the department in psychology department in Allahabad University, and one of the most gorgeous looking ladies in my life, who had it all. Oh my God, Nisha ma'am. The moment I saw her the first time, I had, literally I was drooling. And I was just thinking, I said, if I was a man, I would not have allowed Ajit uncle to marry her. Okay. Later on, I mean, I knew them even personally. Okay. They were family friends also. So when I went to the department and I looked at her and she was, oh my God, like the most gorgeous soul. She had done her PhD on Mcclellan's motivational needs. Okay. And she said that most of the people have a very strong need for achievement. It actually starts with need for achievement. It's called, in the second slide, you'll see it's called small n ACH. So the person who has a need for achievement, like I talked about in emotional intelligence yesterday. Okay, these people who have got that, in motivation, they have that drive. Like I give the example of this Priyanka Chopra. Today I'll give you the example even of Hrithik Roshan. In spite of having a flat foot, in spite of stuttering, in spite of having difficulty in studies, okay, he had dyslexia in other areas also of life. This guy became one of the best dancers, one of the most fluent people in the industry. It's a different thing that being Rakesh Roshan's son, he's not really found himself to be very lucky. And in spite of having worked with Rekha several times and Rekha being his close friend also, he's not really been able to make it big the way Amitabh Bachchan has. Okay. But then, you know, um, at the end of the day, let's give credit to Amitabh Bachchan. The fact that Rekha actually loved him more than she loved Rakesh Roshan, and Rakesh Roshan was already married to. Okay, we are not going to talk about that. Okay, let's come to this need for achievement. Okay, the drive to excel, to achieve in relation to a set of standards. To strive to succeed. So this need is something which some people have it innately, and some people just don't have it. They don't care. Okay, they just live to exist, they live to eat, they live to have fun, they live to get, take care of the basic needs, and that's about it. Okay, there are so many people who just say, what is the need for having this ambition? Ambition is bad. Okay, ambitious people are the ones who are going to put you into trouble. And then there is a need for power. There are some people who have to have that power. They may not be achievement oriented, but they want to have that power, they want to have that position. They are very dominating. They want the minister's position. They want to become a journalist. Because I met a journalist and I spoke to one person, and I don't mind mentioning him because he's given me permission to quote him. He was working in Swatantra Bharat, the Hindi newspaper to the Pioneer. There was a newspaper all over our country which was called the Pioneer. Okay, so the Hindi version of Pioneer was this Swatantra Bharat, where this gentleman was working, and he was also the editor. He was a chief editor, and Mishra ji used to admire me because I was an Angreziyat person, and he was, looking after the Hindi. He was very good with Hindi written communication, and I was like, looking for work in Pioneer. I wanted to write for Pioneer. I wanted to write for the Leader. I wanted to write for Northern India Patrika. At that time, Times of India had not yet come to Allahabad. Okay, so I'm talking about those years. Maybe I think I'm talking about what, nearly 28 years ago. Okay, so this gentleman said that the most powerful person in our country is the journalist, because they have power even over ministers. Even the prime minister's position can be in jeopardy if a journalist decides, a senior journalist decides to write something against, or to put in some evidentiary proof of some defamation. Okay, so there are some people who have that one of the reasons why a lot of UP people and Bihar people and a lot of North Indians and some South Indian Tamilians and all that, they want to get into the IAS position is because they feel a sense of power working for the Indian administrative services. Okay, not so much the achievement, but a need for power where they control the ministers, where they control the prime minister and the PMO and the whole works. But then again, we have also seen over a period of time that the people who are controlling, maybe Mishaji was right, and then there's this need for affiliation. There are some people who just don't care for achievement, they don't care for power. Okay, they only care for their family, they care for their friendship, their family men, their family women, women who are willing to sacrifice their career, their ambitions, and everything just because they had a pretty baby. You could be one of the babies. Maybe your mother has done that for you. Okay, whether you are a girl or a boy, how many of your mothers have sacrificed their career to be a housewife just to look after you? Okay, so that is need for affiliation. Okay, so going back quickly to the previous slide, there can be people who have a need for power and need for affiliation. Okay, that could be, the head of the department, that could be the prime minister, okay, who likes to have the people loving him or her, but has a sense of power also. And then there is a need for power and need for achievement. Okay, this could be the CEO of a company, this could be a person in in the Indian administrative service, and then could be need for affiliation and need for achievement. These people could be working for the army, for the air force. They could be the general, they could be the air commodore. Okay, so both need for affiliation, need for achievement, or it could be all of it combined: need for power, need for affiliation, and need for achievement. And these people are the ones who are deadly. Okay, they're amazing, they've actually reached that top. Okay, they have a power, they have money power, they have social power, they've got status power, they've got intelligent power, they have got people power, resources power, human resources power. They've got it all. Okay, the need for power, they've got the love of all the people. Okay, I feel Dhirubhai Ambani was one of those people. I feel Ratan Tata and GRD Tata was one of those people. Okay, I feel that Jamshedji Tata was one of those people. I feel that the entire family of the Birla, okay, starting, I would even feel that Jamnalal Bajaj ji had that power, and he is given that power to Rahul Bajaj ji. He's very senior. I can't use their names, first names, but they are, these people are entities. Okay, the way I call Amitabh Bachchan, if he'll come in front of me, I would not be able to utter a word. Trust me. Okay, so the need for power, the need for affiliation, need for achievement, these are Mcclellan's motivational needs, and Mcclellan has done a lot more work. We'll be talking about that as we go about it. Okay, on this note, just let's take a 5 to 7 minutes of break. Okay, and we'll come back for more. Okay, guys, the reason why I have come back a little before 5 or 7 minutes is because I just forgot to show you a film. Okay, which I wanted to show you. So while you all are in break, I don't know whether this movie is there in the YouTube or not, but this is something that I really loved, and it's about relatedness. It's about the need for affiliation. It's about the relationship of ERG theory, and it's also about love and relatedness needs in according to um, Maslow. So it's about the rabbit and the turtle.
Once upon a time,
So
a
enjoy
turtle
this.
and a rabbit had an argument about who was faster. They decided to settle the argument with a race. The turtle and the rabbit both agreed on a route and started off the race. The rabbit shot ahead and ran briskly for some time. Then, seeing he was far ahead of the turtle, he thought he'd sit under a tree for some time and relax before continuing the race. He sat under the tree and soon fell asleep. The turtle, plodding on, overtook him and soon finished the race, emerging as the undisputed champ. The rabbit woke up and realized that he'd lost the race. The moral of the story is that slow and steady wins the race. This is the version of the story that we've all grown up with. But our version of the story continues. The rabbit was disappointed at losing the race, and he did some thinking. He realized that he'd lost the race only because he had been overconfident, careless, and lax. If he had not taken things for granted, there's no way the turtle could have beaten him. So he challenged the turtle to another race. The turtle agreed. This time, the rabbit went all out and ran without stopping from start to finish. He won by several miles. The moral of the story? Fast and consistent will always beat the slow and steady. It's good to be slow and steady, but it's better to be fast and reliable. But the story doesn't end here. This time, and realized that there's no way he can beat the rabbit in a race the way it was currently formatted. He thought for a while and then challenged the rabbit to another race, but on a slightly different route. The rabbit agreed. The turtle and rabbit started off. In keeping with his self-made commitment to be consistently fast, the rabbit took off and ran at top speed until he came to a broad river. The finishing line was a couple of kilometers on the other side of the river. The rabbit sat there, wondering what to do. In the meantime, the turtle trundled along, got into the river, swam to the opposite bank, continued walking, and finished the race. The moral of the story? First, identify your core competency, and then change the playing field to suit your core competency. The story still hasn't ended. The turtle and rabbit by this time had become pretty good friends, and they did some thinking together. Both realized that the last race could have been run much better. So the turtle and rabbit decided to do the last race again, but to run as a team this time. They started off, and this time the rabbit carried the turtle till the riverbank. There, the turtle took over and swam across with the rabbit on his back. On the opposite bank, the rabbit again carried the turtle, and they reached the finishing line together. Both the turtle and rabbit felt a greater sense of satisfaction than they'd felt earlier. The moral of the story? It's good to be individually brilliant and to have strong core competencies. But unless you're able to work in a team and harness each other's core competencies, you'll always perform below par because there will always be situations at which you'll do poorly and someone else does well. Teamwork is mainly about situational leadership, letting the person with the relevant core competency for a situation take leadership. And that is the end of the story.
Did you like it? Like this particular video? Okay, yes. So this was explaining that initially there was a sense of competition. Initially there was need for achievement. Okay, but later on what happened was that when you start working with people whom you become, friends with, the need for achievement just, kind of takes a backstand. Once you've succeeded once or twice, then later on you just want the other person to win also, because you believe more in the need for affiliation. You want more of friendship. Okay, and this is what happens when we play chess, or we play cards, or we, kind of have a bingo, or housey game, or whatever it is. Sometimes, you know that you're going to get the line, you're going to get the house, you're going to get all this, but you want others to win also. Okay, because of your need for affiliation. And that's when you decide to, let the number go, and you decide not to take the prize and let somebody else get it. Okay, so now let's come to some of the new theories, okay, and understand how this works. So there's the cognitive evaluation theory, the goal setting theory, which has the management by objectives thing, and MBO thing, and the self-efficacy theory, and then there's the reinforcement theory, there's the equity theory, and the expectancy theory. And I've added one more theory by Dr. the Dean Nitin Noria also. Okay, he was the 10th dean of Harvard Business School, and until this January, that is 2021 January, he was the dean. But from 2021 January, it's somebody else. I forgot his name again. Okay, so let's look at the cognitive evaluation theory. I just talked about it, that basically there are some people who are really not interested in the money. Okay, they have their own version of where they want to work and why they want to work. They have their own version of uh, what is Falguni saying? Mainly while we are playing with kids. Yes, you want them to win. Why? And yet I'll tell you about one thing, Falguni. I know one of my husband's very good, very close friend. He was so competitive that when he would play tennis or he would play squash, he would actually hit the ball, onto the head of the daughters and injure them. He would hit them on their chest when the girls were growing up, and they would cry and they would come to my husband and say, "Uncle, dad, playing with dad is like horrible. We don't want to play with him." And they would just, get out and break the racket and walk away. And then Suresh sir used to get very upset with him. Then, and I'll mention his name because, what the hell? Okay, so that's Dr. Tilak Lal, and he's a very senior doctor in Mumbai. But there are people who can do that because their need for achievement, the need for power is stronger than the need for affiliation. And that's how you're going to be learning, how these theories really work for us. Okay. Yeah, even your brother, see Arya, he will, so we have to let him win. Okay, so this was what I noticed about my son also as he was growing up, that while interacting with his cousins, with my sister's children, and with some other kids, he was bullied a lot by them. So when he used to lose, they used to make fun of him, they used to call him names and all that. He didn't like it. So then later on, he became a little bad loser. And then daddy and I got together and, kind of we made him lose and we made him accept the loss. And we told him that it actually shows character if you let someone else win and if you share your winnings with the others. Okay. Don't worry, Arya. Things are going to work out. Okay. They all, yeah, everyone feels important when they win. Trust me, even till date, if I lose, if I start playing anything, that Connect 4 as a game that also uses brains a lot. Okay, the cognitive need is kind of, taken care of, the intellectual need is taken care of. So if I lose 3 or 4 Connect games to Divyansh, even now, and I just lose it. Forget it. Yeah, I make a mistake. Let me win also. So everyone wants to win. So there is a slight need for achievement in everyone. There's a need for affiliation. There's a need for power. There's a need for everything. The need for aesthetic needs, cognitive needs. Everyone has it. Okay, in different formats. Okay. So coming back to this cognitive evaluation theory, there's a lot over here written. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly tell you from my words, and if you find that something written over here is different, just interrupt me and I don't mind. Okay, there are many people who don't work for money, they don't work for salary, they don't work for growth, they don't work for anything. Okay, they feel that they are doing this work because of their basic value, and if you give them growth, if you give them, if you change their team, if you remove the leader and you make the leader sacrifice the job, and or you put them into a different unit altogether, these people will not like it, they will also leave. And this is what happens in many of the organizations. Okay, so it's self concordance. This means that I will work where I want to work, okay, with my personal beliefs that are close to me, not what you think is good for me. Okay, so I'm going to kind of be happy with someone whom I'm happy with, not whom you think I'm going to be happy with. Okay, so I'll give you a simple example, so that will kind of quickly tell you how this works, this cognitive evaluation theory. There was this lady, she was a widow, and she had her children living abroad, and she was basically very lonely here. So this Pune, this Art of Living ashram, Triveni ashram, it needed some volunteers. So she used to go, she got a auto wala to come, and or somebody to to come and drop her every day and pick her every day. Okay, so she was doing this volunteer work. She did have difficulty with money because sometimes her children would not send it to her, and she did have a very small pension which was not really enough for her. Okay, so one day I remember the Supriya, she talked to everyone in the ashram, and she said that, look, let's start paying this lady. Okay, she's taking lift, she's paying on her own and coming and going. So let us give her a basic, let's give her like 6 to 10,000 rupees, so that at least her transport and her food and some of her needs are taken care of. So when they offered this money to this lady, she was a little happy, but not really. She felt very hurt. Okay, it was as if they were taking away her self-esteem. They were making her feel that she was poor, that she was, that they that instead of she volunteering for Art of Living, which is the largest and one of the richest NGOs in the whole world, you know, she is made to feel as if she's a servant over there, not a volunteer. Okay, so the first month she came and she got the salary, she was okay with it. She said thank you and she had hugged everyone and everything. The After some few days, she just said that I'm not feeling well. So okay, for a few days and all that, people accepted. Okay, old lady, not feeling well or doesn't feel like coming or something. Suddenly, after 2 3 months, they realized she's just stopped coming. And then, people like me went and asked her, what happened? Auntie, what happened? And she was like, कि पैसा देते हैं ये लोग मुझे. They're trying to buy my seva. I was coming for seva. And ये लोग मुझे पैसा देना शुरू करें. That is cognitive evaluation theory, where you use your own brains, where something is happening in your life which is against your personal belief, your personal value, your personal way of thinking. Okay, so there are some people you should just leave them, let them do what they're doing. If they're doing the work well, and if they don't want growth, they don't want change, don't force them, let it be. Okay, are you getting it? So can you just read this portion on your own and understand how it works? Okay, intrinsic and extrinsic rewards are not independent. Okay, extrinsic rewards decrease the intrinsic motivation. Okay, pay should be non-contingent on performance. There are some people who do not like it if you give them more money. Okay, and there are some people who actually love to be praised, and at the same time there are some people who just hate to be praised. I know of people, you praise them for their work, they'll just dump the work on your face and go away. And they'll say, who are you? तुम्हारी औकात है कि तुम मुझे praise करो? Do you even know my job well? How dare you say that I'm doing a good job? Okay, I know I am good. Keep your opinions to yourself. So guys, you can give me some reactions on these examples, because these are real life examples which normally if you study this theory you may not be able to understand or even comprehend the theory. So some clap clap clap, yeah, thank you ma'am, great ma'am, you're a good one. Okay, so now let's look at this Loki's goal setting theory. Okay, so what does this guy say? He says, Loki says that once you have a specific and a tough goal, not a realistic goal, but a slightly unrealistic goal, or not, something that is measurable, yes, but something which is not that achievable. And the more, difficult the goal is, the more people are focused towards achieving that target. Okay, the higher you set the performance of a person, the higher the goal, the more difficult a client is, the more difficult a project is. People will work harder, they will not complain to you, and their motivation to prove themselves right goes up. Okay, so there's the goal commitment, and the task has to be a little tough, and you give that person an autonomy. Also give that person, you know um, go ahead, do it your way. I'm not going to supervise. Okay, we're going to be coming to that too. So this is where, when things are very tough, yes, Poonam, you have a question, or you agree with me? See, this is what Dale Carnegie thought. Are you with me? Dale Carnegie felt that everyone needs appreciation, everyone needs, but he had a limited perspective. Is Dale Carnegie doing better than many others? No, they're not the biggest organization at all. They're not bigger than Tata's, and his books are not. They're still selling. Yes, I understand, but come on, yeah, get hold of any of the Dale Carnegie books. They're such pugga. How many people who've actually bought Dale Carnegie books have read them all? I'm a reader. I read a book from cover to cover. I have got more than 3 4 books of Dale Carnegie still, on my in my showcase. Ask me, have I read the whole book? No, I haven't. Okay. I got an opportunity to even work for Dale Carnegie's organization, but I said no because he doesn't understand it all. There are some people, I'm telling you, okay? So trust me when I'm saying it. Poonam, no, 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 there's no such thing as, okay, that was Poonam raising the hands. Who is this person? Falguni Mutha. Okay, so Falguni, the thing is that um, I actually do love him. Okay, he's one of the books that I've the first few books that I really bought on self-help of Dale Carnegie. So I still have the books on how to help your husband get ahead and succeed in something profession. Even that also I have. Okay, and I have read that book. Okay, how to make your husband feel good and how to make your wife feel good and all that. I've done all that. But then look at this, okay, very carefully, that people with more tougher goals, this is what Loki said, and this theory is something that is really working, and it is something that people are managers are putting into this thing. So as I told you, the goals, when you're using this, that is the management of objectives, that is, you have an objective, you have a reason to be working in an organization. The more tough the project is, the more difficult the client is, the more verifiable and measurable the reward and the outcome is, the more a person is motivated to work on that project, and they're willing to sacrifice the marriage of their younger brother and you know um, the birth of their child also, just to be able to work with you, because they're so they're so motivated to work with you because of the goal. Okay, so this is about um, you know reaching the goal. Loke's goal setting theory. So that's how it is. Okay, and you got to be very very clear about the time factor also. Remember, I spoke about the smart goals in the first lecture. So specific, measurable, okay, and time bound. It could be slightly realistic, or it could be actually beyond being a little realistic, and it achievable, yes, but slightly tough, the tougher, more specific, more verifiable, and even the external reward that these people are going to get, and what they perceive as what they're getting. Okay, Victor Vroom's theory of is also balance is also there, but I'm going to now come to the next one, which is Bandura's self-efficacy theory. So far, what I have spoken about the theory is Bandura's. Albert Bandura was again a very, very famous psychologist and one of the old people, and um, has done so much work. And I don't understand. I tell you, I just admire these people. Okay, these psychologists, amount of research they've done. Okay, so according to Albert Bandura, an individual's belief that he or she is capable of performing a task is what motivates the person. Okay, so self-efficacy theory also can be, the self-efficacy actually means, how do you view yourself? Do you have the confidence? Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that you have it in you to do this task? Do you believe that you can learn a tough language even if you are language dyslexic? Do you believe that you can drive a cycle even at the age of 65 when you've never driven a two-wheeler? You've only driven a four-wheeler, or you've not even driven any wheeler. Okay. And now at the age of 65, you need to ride a cycle. Do you have faith in yourself that you will be able to do it? Do you have faith in yourself that even at the age of 19, you can start a big company? Okay. You can be the CEO of a startup, of a project that no one else believes in. Okay, so this is Bandura's self-efficacy theory, that when a person believes in his or her own capabilities, and abilities. The word capability comes from the word cap, that is, position of power, cap, and ability. So ability is very good, but capability means you are willing to take the responsibility of a position. Capability, cap or cape, that is your capability. Okay, so that is the word cap. That is the word capability. Okay, it's not capability, but it's written as capability, but it's actually capability. Okay, so you know the higher the efficacy, the more self-esteem and the more self-belief a person has, the higher the self-efficacy of a person, the greater the person has the confidence, the greater the person has the fluency, the greater the persistence that I can do it. No one can stop me. Okay, other factors just go away. I'm doing this for myself, I'm not doing it for others. There were times when I used to sit and make PPTs, and Suresh sir used to come and ask me, who are you doing this for? Do you have it? Do you have a lecture tomorrow? Or, are you going to be talking about this? I said, no, sir. He's saying, then why are you making a PPT on this topic? I said, sir, I just feel like. He's saying, feel like meaning what? I said, for myself, I just want to. Dr. Jordan B. Who's that? Lokendra, can you just elaborate? Unmute and tell me what you're talking about, this Dr. Jordan. Okay, while he talks, I can just go ahead. Are you getting it? These people are their own competitors. So according to Albert Bandura, the self-efficacy theory, he said that people like to compete with themselves. These people with high self-efficacy, they work for themselves. Okay, so the game of golf, one of the most expensive, not the most expensive, but one of the most expensive games, is about competing with yourself, where you don't need another three men to play the game with you or to maintain the scorecard. You just compete with yourself. You reduce your own handicap, and that's what it is called. So at some other time, you talk to Deepa ma'am. She's an avid golfer, and she goes every day, and she's got her own group of friends. With her husband she goes, and sometimes even without the husband. So depending on how much free time she has, they definitely go. And one of her friends turned out to be one of the avid golfers whom I knew, who was the CEO of Mahindra Trucks and Buses. Okay, um, what was his name? Forget it. Okay, so this is what she talks about, that the harder the goal it is, with more increased confidence, you set a higher goal and your performance actually goes up. Okay, so now let's look at how you can increase the self efficacy of a person. I've given the example of golf, that's why I put that picture also over there. Is that the more you motivate yourself, the more you tell yourself that I can do it, and the more you kind of tweak your own project. Today you've delivered a project which is very good, but tomorrow the client comes back for the same thing. You make a better product or a better service and you give it back, and the client says, I just wanted the same thing, it was working for me, why are you putting in extra efforts? Okay, so there is an a thing that practice makes you perfect. There's that thing that you want to keep on increasing and doing better than your previous show. That is the self efficacy model. Okay, where you tell yourself that whatever I'm doing is good. Okay, so this is where the vicarious modeling is also concerned, where you look up to people who are your competitors, who are doing better, who have a bigger market share. You want to increase your market share also, or at least you want to go deeper, you want to penetrate into the market more, and you want to kind of give more services, or you want to give better services of just one thing that you're doing very well. Okay, so this, when you're going to get into marketing, and when you're going to talk about customer services and building a brand and all that, that's when you're going to learn all this and really take it forward. Okay, so that is one of the things. And then I must tell you that I have this Pygmalion and Galatia effect. Would you like to understand about this? The Pygmalion effect is that whatever, it starts from a story. Shall I tell you a story? How many of you want a story? Okay, Anand Mahindra ji, yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Aniket, for Falguni. Thank you, Meyu. Thank you so much for, being alive and still active and enjoying this whole thing. So this Pygmalion effect started from a story, and every continent, every area had the same story. Okay, so the story starts with, I'll give you the story in the context of an Indian king. Okay, but the same story, the Pygmalion effect, is actually in another country, in another continent altogether. That's how it started. And there was an Indian movie also called Pardes, on which this Pygmalion effect was based, and Galatia effect is something similar. Okay, so we're going to be talking about, and I'm going to share the document and, if possible, the content of it. But I picked it up from somewhere else, so I'm going to give them acknowledgement also. And so the Pygmalion effect is about. Pygmalion effect is about this boy who was a sculptor. He could, he was an artist. Okay, and he could make a sculpture. So he was from the royal family. He was the only son and the only heir uh, to the king, and he had to get married so that he could have his own children. So the king and the queen ask this fellow, that, tell me, you want to, he was rejecting brides left, right, and center. So they asked him, who do you really want to marry? So he just, unveils a very beautiful statue of a pretty girl, and she is one of the most beautiful, most quintessential, structure of a girl, who's just, according to this guy, is the one. Okay, One, the one. She's the Neo of, the Matrix. She is the Trinity of the Matrix for uh, him being the one. Okay, so the king is like, very nervous. He's like, oh my god, this one is so beautiful. Where will I find such a beautiful girl for you? And anyway, but because it's the prince and you have to listen to what the prince wants, they take a chance. So they put this structure on a, on a bullock cart, and every village that this image is show, this statue is shown, and girls who are willing to, from any category, any background, doesn't matter, they don't have to be royalty. Anyone who looks similar to this girl was supposed to be picked up. So 5 villages later, 5 villages away, sorry, from the main capital city of this kingdom, the ministers found a beautiful girl, and she belonged to, she was the daughter of a priest, the local priest, and the daughter is brought forward, and the daughter is very happy about getting married to the prince, and the prince lives happily ever after. So this is about self-fulfilling prophecy, and that movie Pardes, it showed it. So I put together a document, and details of the Pygmalion and the Galatia effect are mentioned over here. There was a particular one which I could not write. Okay, so this is like, taken from the Harvard Business Review, and this is taken from this human resources dot about.com on management tips, management secret, etc. Okay, and the Galatia effect is also the power of self expectations. Remember, in the first day, I told you that when you expect the best from yourself, when you expect the best from the universe, you will get the best. If you have this feeling that no, 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 if you believe in the theory X, where people are lazy, people don't care for you, they're out there to get you, well, that is going to happen. So if you think you're right, or if you think you're wrong, either ways you're right. Okay, so just make it happen. And this particular one, that is this one, is where I really got a very good explanation for Pygmalion effect. Unable to open. Oh my God. Okay. Now this is right now not happening. But this is where I got a very good example of Pygmalion effect and Galatia effect. So please do your googling, do your research on it, and I'm sure that someone has it. Okay, it's about this. Self-efficacy is one that gets you all psyched up. It gets you all aroused to get up. It gives you that surge of energy, that super energy that I talked about in the first day, the one which makes you multifaceted, multi talented, and the one who can balance out every aspect of their life. That is what is self-efficacy theory all about. And then there is a reinforcement theory. I'll be talking about it in detail when I talk about the behavioral psychology, that is the behaviorists and all that, and how reinforcement theory is about external motivation. It's not about intrinsic motivation. It's about reward, it's about punishment. It's about the fact that my teacher will give me good marks, that's why I'm going to attend the class. Okay, I'm going to get good attendance and I'm going to get good marks, and because I get good marks, my parents are going to be happy, and because they're going to be happy, they'll give me more money, or they'll buy me a good house, or they'll get a nice girl for me, or a nice boy for me, and they'll get me happily married, and they'll give me a better, bigger room. Whatever it is, anything that is reward or avoidance of punishment, that is what is called the reinforcement theory. So reinforcement is again done in various methods. Okay, where you can just kind of there are plenty of reinforcements. Okay, now this is talking about Adam's equity theory. So I must rush, because we've got very little time now. And I just want to tell you that this Adam's equity theory is again similar to the cognitive evaluation theory, but slightly different. Okay, so now let me just use my own example. Okay, and I'll give you the example of this equity theory. You can read this a little later. Okay, I'll give you the example, a real life story that happened with a couple of my clients. They were sisters. Okay, and I was working for this organization called AXA Business Services, where I was a part-time counselor. I used to go for 2.5 to 4 hours every day, 5 days a week, and I was paid according to the hours and according to the clients who came to me. So there was this one girl who was, and my cabin was in such a place where that's where they used to go to the interview. So sometimes when I used to go out to get my tea or coffee, or I used to go to the washroom or something, I would see the candidates out there and I would just smile at them and I would just be generally happy. And then they would ask me, "What is this, ma'am? What are you doing over here?" And then I would get talking to them. So there was this particular girl, I won't mention her name. I met her and I wished her luck, and she was like, "Ma'am, I'm desperate for this job. You please pray for me." And I said, "Of course you'll get it, baby. You don't worry about it." So next time I came back, and she came when she got the job, she came running to my cabin and she thanked me and she said, "You prayed for me and it was so good and I got the job." So I was like very happy for her. Then she was one of those chattery types. She wanted to tell me, she was so enthusiastic because her father was not doing so well. Okay. And all his life, he had been a worker in one of these automotive factories and had really struggled. The mother was also working, and the grandmother was always sick. So this was a family where the kind of money that she was getting in this, in AXA Business Services as a BPO was really huge for the family. Okay, so as the eldest child to her father, she was very thrilled. And then she came and told me that, "Ma'am, I'm getting 12,000 rupees as a starting salary. This is so much. And my problems are going to just get solved. My mother's going to be better now. I'll be able to buy a sari for her. I'll be able to get a new shirt for my father. And every month I'll be able to, save so much. And my grandmother will be happier. I'll be able to take her to a proper doctor." And she was, okay. So this happened and she became a good friend and she kept coming. And then 1 year later, yes, I was there for more than 2.5 years. So 1 year later, this girl comes back and very enthusiastic, "Ma'am, wish my sister good luck. Now she's finished her graduation and she can also join this job." Okay. And she's joining this job. I said, "Okay, okay, wish her good luck." And I told her, I said, "This is how face the interview. This is how you go about it." And the same cubicle, okay, same place I was going every day. So lo and behold, that sister also got the job. Now, in this 1 year, what happened was that this girl got an increment. Okay. So from 12,000, she did very well and she started getting 14,000 plus. But when the sister joined the job, she was offered 14,000 as a salary. What this one got after working there for 1 year. This is called the equity theory. What happened was that suddenly, the first time when that girl got the offer, they both came and they were happy. And I just, kind of did not ask. And then she told the sister, go, I want to talk to ma'am separately. And then she spoke to me. She said, ma'am, what is this? What is this company policy? They're giving her the same salary as I'm getting right now. She's a new entrant. She's not even gone through training. She's done nothing. I've even got some certificates. I've got a good score also, ma'am. And what is this? This is not done. And I was like, this is equity theory, because I'd already studied this Adams equity theory. And I was like, this is equity theory. And she was like, what is equity theory? So this is what happens. You are happy and satisfied with your own salary as long as you don't know what's happening with your colleague and how much he or she is getting. You're totally satisfied with your role and your position unless and until somebody lower than you is offered what you are getting or higher than what you're getting, depending also on, maybe in your organization, say for example you're getting 25,000 rupees per month, but are you getting it? Can you feel this equity theory, Adams equity theory? So Adams equity theory is based on the fact that what you think you deserve, self inside, self outside, that is you depending on what the other person is getting. Other inside means that another person is getting in a similar organization outside, and other outside, that is in a competitor's place or in a sector which is uh, not like yours. It's not a BPO, it's maybe an IT sector. Understood how the equity theory works? So I have given you, like, they're not they are getting your positions or place. Yes. Okay. Falguni, thank you for responding. And Aniket, thank you for responding. Have you got it now? Can I go to the other theory? Because Victor, reactions to inequity are this. You know what happens to when inequity is experienced, when you feel that, oh, this is not fair, people start, their work just starts deteriorating. Okay, the output just decreases or it increases. Okay, there is a people start feeling, they start questioning themselves. Is there something wrong with me? Am I not doing well? They question the job, they question the manager. Okay, they sometimes even leave the job, and this is what happened. I was there for another year and a half and all that, and that girl, actually, both, not only that girl, but actually both the sisters left that job. Imagine, a family where 28,000 was coming. This thing, inequity between the two sisters, it led to such a rift, and they both left that job and went away. Okay, so over rewarded employees produce more, under rewarded employees produce less with low quality. So when we are talking about e- equality and equitable states, the way you handle people, you praise someone else for a job well done, and you criticize someone else for a job well done. The person who's going through criticism may not be able to take it. Okay, again, depending on self-efficacy and cognitive evaluation theory, remember all those. Okay, so the justice factor is, like, very very important. So there is distributive justice, there is procedural justice, and there's interactional justice. Now this is a very very long topic, so I'm going to just take it to Victor Vroom's expectancy theory. Now take a deep breath, all of you. Okay, let me take a sip of my coffee. And let me explain this theory to you. Okay, this is one of the most interesting theories and it took me a little while to gauge it. That's why I'm going to take a little while to explain it to you also, and I'm going to read it because it kind of helps me every time I read it out loudly, and I have to keep looking at the screen every time I have to explain this theory, because this is still not gone into my system the way other theories have. Okay, so this I'm going to take a little time. Okay, expectancy theory. I don't know why I have a little um, uh, some lack of self belief where this theory is concerned. Okay. Ah, the strength of a tendency to act in a certain way depends on the strength of an expectation that the act will be followed by a given outcome, and on the attractiveness of the outcome to the individual. That is the expectancy model. Okay, now I'll repeat it again and I'll say it a little slowly. You will start working in a motivated manner when you realize that when I'm going to do some work, I will get some result. I'll get a reward. Okay. You have expectations of getting a reward. Only when you expect the reward, and not only just expect, but your belief, your strength of your expectation will increase your motivation to put in efforts in that particular job, because you've been given a paper, you've been told that if you're going to do this particular task, you'll be paid this much, you'll be given this position, you're promised something. So you, the strength of your expectation, you know that this person is prana jai par vachan na jai, will give me enough, to take me forward for this particular job. Your belief. So the strength of a tendency to act in a certain way depends on the strength of an expectation. Okay, that after I finish my work, I will get it. Okay, and not only that, Groom's expectancy theory also says that the reward should be attractive enough for you. Only then you will work on that project. If you're not interested in the pay, if you're not interested in the position, if you're not interested in the growth, then but it, the attractiveness of the outcome of the reward is, good for you. Okay, now let's look at the later part. Okay, individual effect will lead effort will lead to individual performance. Individual performance will get you the rewards, and those rewards are matching with your personal goals. This is what you wanted. Okay, but now let's look at the first one. Okay, between your effort will depend on the fact that you can perform, the expectancy of performance success, that I can do the performance. Okay, and then from your performance will also depend on your success of getting the reward, that I'm going to get paid after my performance. And once the reward comes, the reward should match with your personal goal. Okay, there are many people working in insurance. They work not just for money, but they work for the overseas holidays. Okay, and yet there are people like Suresh sir, my husband, and even like my father. You give them overseas holidays, they are not interested. Okay, got it. So it's about what the personal goal is. This is called the Victor Vroom's, valence theory. It is also called the expectancy theory. It is also called the valence theory. Okay, so let me just take you to the next page and just show it to you. Okay, it's called, valence means the amount of value that you put on what you're about to get. Okay, so the motivation depends on how much we want something and how likely we are to get it. Okay, the assumption is that behavior is determined by the combination of personal and environmental forces. Okay, it's intrinsic and extrinsic motivation which has to mesh together well for the gears to work and for the car of your life to move forward. Okay, people make decisions about their own behavior in organizations. Different people have different types of needs, desires, goals, and people choose among alternatives of behaviors in selecting one that leads to the desired outcome. Suggests that motivation leads to effort when combined with ability and environmental factors that result in performance, which in turn leads to various outcomes that have value or balance for the employees. Okay, have you got this theory? I think I explained it better than what is written over here. What do you think? Okay, so this is an integration of, according to Stephen Robbins' book on motivation, the topic on motivation. This is what it is, that you have an opportunity, the individual effort goes in, there's an ability. Okay, you put in the ability, there is an objective, you know that, and the performance is going to happen, and it will give you the organization rewards and the personal goal. In this, from here is that need achievement theory. This is about management by design. This is about the equity theory, that is the organizational justice, outside in, inside outside. Okay, this thing. And then this is about the objective performance, that is this is about the cognitive evaluation theory. This is about the reinforcement theory. Okay, and this is about the goals, Loki's goal theories, and this is about the needs that are dominant within you: the need for achievement, the need for um, uh, power, and the need for affiliation. And that comes to personal goals. So this is an integration of all the theories that we've studied about. um, Here they've not mentioned so much of the hygiene factors. Okay, you have another Zoom meeting scheduled for my please carry on. And this last theory, I'll just quickly explain it to you, Mohit. Just give me another half a minute and then you can leave. Okay, this is by Dean Nitin Noria, and he says that he came up with a paper which said there are four drives: the drive to acquire, code, okay, whether it is name, position, relationships, money, goods, possessions, house, all that experiences. First drive is to acquire. Ye dil mange more, more, more. This is me, 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 me. This is for me. I want it, I want it, I want it. The second is the need for bonding, affiliation, interconnectivity. I love you, I love you, bond with me, be my friend, be part of my organization, let's work together, blah 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 blah. Then there's a need for comprehension, that is cognitive and aesthetic needs, to stimulate your intellectual this thing. And the last is to defend the above three. Okay, so this is what, according to Dean Nitin Noria, who's from Harvard Business. He was the 10th dean of Harvard Business. He's an Indian, huh? And he said that this is what we are. Okay, the need to acquire, the need to bond, the need to create, or the need to get intellectually stimulated, and the need to defend. And in between it is the choices that we make in order to fulfill any one or a combination of all these four needs. Okay, so there's a need to acquire is the reward system. The need to bond is about the cultural, teamwork and leadership and friendship amongst co-workers, etc. The need to comprehend is about job design, creativity, making meaning of what you're doing, putting meaning into your job. And the last is to defend it, where you want to protect everything, and you want to be fair, the equity theory. Okay, where you want everything to be fair, and you want people to continue working. Okay, so this is how what the global implications are. Please have a look at them later on when I share this theory. And the need theories are Maslow's, Alderfer's, Mcclellan's, and Herzberg's theory. The goal setting theory is also good enough. Reinforcement theory, equity and expectancy theory is again a good predictor of performance variables, but shares many of the assumptions as rational decision making. So the question is, are you motivated enough? Your job is just to stay focused, okay, and believe that there is more to life than just heaven somewhere in the sky. The heaven and hell that you create is all within you. So let's, kind of, any questions quickly? And today I've exceeded only by 10 minutes. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Proud of myself. Okay, so now stay around because this is also going to be there. Maybe I'll just share um, the slides with you all, and you all can go through it. Okay, there may be some questions in the exam about it, and so chalte chalte, let me show you that it's ultimately. There's another video I want to show you all. You want to see another video, guys? Do you want to see another video? For those who want to leave the meeting, you all are most welcome. I can even stop the recording. So have a nice day. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about personality. Okay. So Sigmund Freud, Carl Gustav Jung, psychoanalysis. Just do a little research and come. You'll have fun. Okay. And tomorrow, please keep me under control. Huh? Today I was just not in control. Okay, I should be stopping this first.